Hi, my name is Anthony Collard. I'm going to be presenting my security issue on how Chinese military expansion threatens U.S. interests. A little bit of background on that. The Chinese military, their hardware and capabilities have been increasing steadily with their economy since the early 2000s. The Chinese recently fielded their first aircraft carrier not too long ago, and their capabilities are increasing along with their fielding more soldiers as well as more equipment, and it shows in their confidence. They're beginning to flex their muscle on their neighbors in the region, primarily nations like Taiwan, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Vietnam and the Philippines share territorial disputes with China, and as well as Taiwan, which China claims for itself. And so China has harassed these nations with their navies and coast guards. Taiwan alone reported in 2022 over 1,700 incursions into their airspace by the Chinese. As well as there's numerous articles about Philippine sailors being injured by Chinese Coast Guard. So it's obvious that the Chinese have become increasingly more confident in their abilities there. Now, in the current situation, how we see how the Chinese are flexing their military might and how that military expansion threatens the United States. Like I mentioned, they have territorial disputes with the Philippines, which is a United States ally, and how they harass them, and they constantly are pushing boundaries with their neighbors, which is a direct ally to the United States, which is flexing on the Philippines, but as well flexing some military might on the United States and kind of provoking a response there. Recently, last Wednesday, the Chinese launched an intercontinental ballistic missile into the South China Sea, and they failed to advise the nation of Japan of the missile test, which is a little alarming considering Japan was near the flight path of the missile, and Japan happens to be a United States ally as well. So it shows how China is flexing its military might on its regional neighbors, and as well increasing their capabilities militarily and their confidence militarily. So in their active plans, in their active exercises, all point and practice for an invasion of Taiwan. So we can see there how they're increasing their confidence in their military and military action. Granted, we haven't seen them take any official military action against any of their neighbors in the region, but shows that they are preparing, training, and increasing those capabilities, which pose a major threat to United States trade in the region, United States capabilities and assets in the region. So some major policy that kind of reflects a deterrent, or how the United States as well as other nations are responding to the growing military expansion of China and confidence in China, is the United States in 2023 helped broker a defense treaty in between Japan and Korea, who have historically been at odds and not had the best relations. So that's very significant in those two countries putting aside their differences to come together to combat military expansion from China. My recommendations when it comes to how to deter Chinese expansion of influence would be imposing more aggressive tariffs on Chinese products to deter them from imposing on their allies, as well as normalizing their relationships with those allies, as well as promoting friendlier relationships with countries that could be shying away from Chinese military power, like Vietnam, is increasing relationships with nations like those to show China that their neighbors are willing to side with the United States in the face of Chinese expansion and aggression. So, thank you.